Welcome to the Truman Charities podcast, a community of caring. I am Jamie Truman, your host. I'm one of the co-founders of Truman Charities. Our organization has raised over $1 million for several different charities as we share our message of helping others and paying it forward. We plan to continue to educate our audience on the culture of giving. On this podcast, I will interview fellow charity founders, volunteers, sponsors, and other people in the community who will share their stories. You will hear and be inspired by their selflessness and passion for helping others. Welcome to another episode of A Community of Caring. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast for your chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card and my favorite gratitude journal. Please screenshot review before you hit submit and send it to me via Facebook at Truman Charities or Instagram at Jamie_Truman Charities. Now, let me introduce my guest today, former NFL player and executive director of Touching Heart, Ken Harvey. How are you?
I am doing well, extremely well. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you today. Now let's get right into it.
Okay.
What is Touching Heart's mission?
Okay, so our mission, and I'll give you the written version, I'll give you the quick version, but the version is we're trying to help young people become compassionate and philanthropic leaders. And saying that is that, now I'll read this part, is that, for over a decade, we've been focusing, right, on working with young people to teach them about giving, about kindness, about compassion. Those are the key elements, I think, in life, right, that you need, and people forget about it. And so what we're trying to do is put them in a position and give them an opportunity to grow in compassionate leadership, to see that their beliefs combined with their action has the ability to make a difference in the world. And so, we're starting and working with young people because it is about planting seeds, right?
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer in that. I look at my own life. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead because I'm all excited about this. But I look at my own life and you realize that a lot of who we are today are because of the seeds that were planted in the past. And so we're trying to plant some positive seeds in these young people's lives, give them the ability to become compassionate leaders. And when we say compassionate leaders, I think people look at leadership where you kind of put the two together, leadership and compassion, and you think those don't necessarily work. Leader has to be strong, it has to be hardcore, it has to be whatever. But a strong leader is the one who knows how to be compassionate, knows how to extend the hand, knows how to treat everyone with the same amount of respect, no matter who it is. If the person's sweeping floors or the person's worth $1 billion, you treat the same, treat everybody with respect. So it's kind of fundamental principles, but we have to teach it. And if we don't teach it, it just, you say you should have known, but they don't know. Right.
Now, what drew you to want to be the executive director of Touching Heart?
So I had originally, Daryl Green, who played also for a lot longer than me, invited me to a couple of their golf tournaments. And there was the executive director and the founder, Helen Yee, who originally was there. Just such a great person. And you could tell everything she said was from the heart, and that she really cared about the kids, cared about the mission, cared about what they were trying to do. And so that was kind of how I started getting involved. And then I realized in my life, being a former football player, you realize how a small thing can make a difference in a kid's life. I did a speech one time, you go about your day and you don't realize it affected somebody. And I got, a year later, a lady came to me and said, I don't know what you said to my son, but ever since you talked to him, he's been making straight A's. And I'm like, I don't even remember the speech. I don't even remember the kid, but it's like it made a difference. And you realize that if we can make a difference, if we could change or plant some seeds, then it's a good thing. And I just, kids are really, it helps me to stay balanced and to look at things from a different perspective.
Now, I'm really excited to start talking about some of the programs that you guys offer. So can you tell me a little bit about Kids on a Mission?
Sure. Kids on a Mission. Well, we try to work to empower the kids to have the ability to put on their own event to try to raise money for whatever charity they choose. We want to empower the kids to do. And empowering them is not just, here's a charity, we're going to give you everything, and then that you do it. You have to learn leadership skills. You have to make a speech. You have to learn organizational skills, budgeting, all the things that are involved in doing it. And on the backside of it is that now you personally get to hand the check. You personally get the reply. You get to see the results of your labor. And so there's no failures in it, regardless of how much money you make or whatever you're trying to do. It's that you're doing it. And I think, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the people talk about doing it, 20% of the people actually do it. We're trying to empower the kids to do it. And so we work with a group of 3 to 5. So it's not a huge group of kids. We kind of block them off into their groups and let them work as a team, work as leaders, and put it together.
Now, can you tell me what the program looks like through the eyes of the child? Like, what does their experience look like?
So, I was trying to look at it. One, I would imagine, I'm trying to put myself back as a kid. One is feeling like you're empowered, that you can do it, right? That someone's entrusting you to say, this was your idea. This is what you want to do. We're just going to try to go guide you, just like the bumpers on the bowling lane. We're going to guide you to make sure you don't go over the edge. But this is your baby, and they get to work it. And so they're looking at it and they're saying, wow, okay, this is my idea. And I want to raise money for, maybe kids in India, because I've seen that. And so now they get to decide, well, what program are you going to try to put together? How are you going to raise the money? And they get to do the leadership skills. Now they have to work on making a speech, and we'll help them craft a speech. And then when they get to talk to potential sponsors, they have to do the legwork. And so you're looking at it and you're saying, wow. And every time you get that little win, it's saying, I can do it. And that's kind of what we need in life and everything, is that pat on the back, that push saying you can do it. And that's what we're trying to install in the kids, to say, man, you can do it. And so I would imagine as a kid, every time you get that win, every time you take that step, it's saying, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought. I can do this. And that leads to the world of all possibilities for anything else.
Wow, you guys are really helping kids. Now, I am interested in maybe, is there a particular fundraising event that a group of children created that really sticks out to you, that made a significant difference in the community?
So I just started recently. And so, I have some that have been written down. I know recently we did a fundraising event where we were, because of COVID, everything was kind of locked down, but we did a escape room on Zoom. And the kids put it together. Yeah, it was actually cool. And so the kids put it together, and forgive me for being excited, because, I'm seeing it and it's like, you see these kids are as adults, they're giving the rules. They're saying, this is what you need to do. They're stepping in, they're being helpful and saying, okay, well, here's what you can do. They're figuring it out. And everybody had their little sections. And so they're raising money. I forgot which charity it was for, but you just saw these kids take over it. And that to me was amazing. And I think that's what we need. Sometimes you could be overbearing as a parent and don't give your kids a chance to do anything. Sometimes you could just be hands off and say, well, you do it all. But I think if you can get the right mixture where you allow them to become who they want to be or who they should be, then it's a great thing.
Now, is there a child that you've noticed that really has flourished from this program?
Sure. There's a girl named Haley. And when I first met her, I thought she was like the most brilliant kid in the world, right? I mean, She did a speech and she's talking, and just like a grown adult in a kid's body, just, really poised, really whatever. And I know at that age, I would have, well, even now, I freak out sometimes when I have to speak, and you see these kids. And so I've seen her go and make speeches and put on events and do different things. And then I read about her a little bit. And it said she was shy and that she was insecure, and that this gave her an opportunity to empower herself and to believe that she could do it. And so from the other side of it, I would have never known. But in the beginning, that's where she started from. So I think, she's probably like the prime example in my book.
Oh my gosh, an example of how important this program is for kids. I absolutely love
definitely.
it. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Have some other really fantastic programs that I just want to touch on a little bit. So can you tell us a little bit about your Schools on a Mission program? What is the goal for these children? What exactly does it entail?
But Schools on a Mission is like an after school program. So we worked with teachers, volunteer teachers who would work with the kids. So once again, it's organizing. It's, the kids deciding as a group what project they want to work on, deciding, which direction they want to go. And then usually the kids run this, for the most part. The teachers would just kind of, guide them a little bit. And so they'll run it. They'll put together a program. They'll decide how they want to enable, to either raise money or make products to give away. And so it's doing it, when we say Schools on a Mission, it's allowing the kids in the school to kind of have an after school program where they can still work together. And all these things pay off actually, in colleges. They want to look to see the kids are actually doing things. And so it's a good program. And we kind of, we guide the kids a little bit, but for the most part, they run the boat.
I love it. So I think a lot of the listeners like myself, I just absolutely love hearing stories about the kids. So is there any child that kind of sticks out to you in particular that had a lot of significant personal growth after being involved on the Schools on a Mission program?
So like I said, I did just start a few months ago. So, I have some testimonies of kids that, some of the things that they said. So forgive me if I read this, but it's Jalen says, I like the day because I love the activities. I like to learn about places and people that need our help. Now I want to help other people in places. Thank you for letting me come. It was a great opportunity and one that I would highly recommend to everyone. Another one said, this is Lauren. She says, getting involved with Touching Hearts has been a great experience. Writing a letter to an orphan child in Kenya not only touched his heart, but mine as well. I wasn't aware of how much my letter meant to someone until they wrote back. And this is Lauren at 14 years old. That one really touched me because, being a former football player, people send you autograph cards all the time. And, for a long time, I set them aside and just kind of my day's over with. And my son was like, Dad, these people are taking the time to write these letters. You need to write them back. And then I started writing people back and signing the cards. And you realize for them, it may be the greatest moment in their life. For you, it may seem like nothing, but for them, it's like, man, that person took the time to write me back. And that's kind of what we're giving to these kids. They're getting a chance to meet these kids, and not in the sense of I'm all powerful and I'm helping you because you're so needy. It's I could be in that same position. Fortunately, I'm not. But I want to help you become where I am, or if not, become better. And that's the mindset. It's not one is greater than the other. It's, hey, brother, can I reach out my hand? Brother, sister, can I reach out my hand, help you up so that we all can be great together? And that's the goal.
Wow, that is really special. I absolutely love hearing those stories from kids.
Awesome.
So can you tell me a little bit about the art of giving?
Well, the art of giving is basically we work with groups that come together. So we're not creating groups necessarily. We'll work with a group and say, okay, let's work on a particular project. We're going to, pick a place wherever it's at. We're going to look at the needs of that place and then see if we can help solve some problem. I read a book recently, or I think it was some saying that said, greatest or the most successful people are the ones who see a problem, find a problem, and then try to figure out how to fix the problem. And that's what successful people do. And so that's what we try to do with the kids, is to try to help them see the problems, understand the problem, and fix the problem.
It's so important what you guys are doing. I absolutely love everything about it.
And I keep saying, I say thank you. And I'm like, man, it's just so cool because I didn't start this. This wasn't something because of football fame. It wasn't something because of, I had the money. It was something that was started by a woman, Helen Yee, and her daughter, and actually started with her grandmother helping orphan kids in Korea. And then in America, her daughter, instead of getting birthday presents, she said she wanted to help other kids. And so that's kind of how it started. And I mean, that is so amazing that it shows that you don't have to have everything. You just have to have the desire to start and to make a difference. And I think that's so cool. So I'm privileged, even though I say thank you, I'm more privileged just to be a part of this.
Oh, wow. So why do you think it's important for children to understand the importance of giving and having empathy? That
is a great question. Well, so I don't want to say you look at it in the world today, but it's kind of coming full circle. There are a lot of things that people are looking at in the world that that you're saying, wow, okay, I didn't know it was that bad, or you never looked at it in that particular way. And empathy is kind of allows you to put yourself in that position or perspective. Sympathy is to say, I care for you. And you could say it should be automatic, but it's not automatic. We're bombarded with so many other things in the world, that said, this is the way you're supposed to be. And these are the people that you like, and these are people that you don't like. And you're bombarded with all these things. And so we have to teach, we have to make an effort to say, no, look, if you hurt, that person may hurt also. Understand that feeling of what that person's going through. Understand how this person's having to deal with that. If you can understand, if you can gain some knowledge, then you can make the right decision. And I think that's kind of the foundation of everything is putting yourself in another person's perspective. What point I want to get across is that, as we say, compassionate leadership, leaders have to make hard decisions. It's not that you're soft and that you're saying, I'm going to love everybody. Sometimes it's going to have to be this person or that person. Sometimes you will have to make the decision. But there also are ways that you can do things. You don't have to be the meanest jerk and the hardest person just to say no. You just have to say sometimes, look, this is a decision we had to make. And unfortunately, it's not going your way. It's a hard decision, but we had to make it. And that's part of leadership.
Now, do you think being a former NFL player has helped you in teaching the kids about the importance of being a good leader?
Immensely. Playing football, you're put on a platform, which whether you want to or not, you're automatically put on a platform. But a lot of NFL players, not all of them, but a lot of NFL players have come from areas of poverty or of issues and things. And so they've been on one side of it, and then they've gotten a chance to see the other side of it. And so when you're playing football, you realize the power and the position that you have, but you also realize that you didn't get to the NFL by yourself. As much as you may have worked hard, as much as you have struggled, as much as whatever, there were people sacrificing, there were people helping you out along the way. For me, there were people when I wanted to give up or quit said, you could do this. You're great. You're special. There were people that helped me along the way. And so playing in NFL, when you realize you have a platform, or you realize that even in a game, when you think the game is maybe not going your way, sometimes you just realize you have to bear down and keep fighting, and the outcome could change. So you learn a lot of skill sets from the NFL that you can transfer to this.
Now, I'm interested to hear this. What have the children taught you that has surprised you?
Well, one surprise is just how articulate and how powerful they are in their beliefs and what they can do, and their willingness to help other kids. I mean, that I don't want to say it surprised me, but it's refreshing, right? I got to a point, I'm talking about me, and I don't want to come across like it's just me, but I got to a point in my life where, you get kind of discouraged about people, about life, about things. And then you see these kids, and you see them with the excitement in their eyes, and you see them with the desire to do some good, and you see them with the looking at the world with a whole different perspective that you didn't look at it, and you say, wow, this is so refreshing. This is so cool. I want to be a part of that. How can I be a part of that? And so I look at that, and if you look around, it's not only me. There are some people who are young, but are old in their body, mind, and the way they look at life. And then there are some older people who are young because they act just like kids. Not that they do crazy things, but they have that attitude of everything's exciting and everything's amazing to touch, see, feel. And it's just a twinkle in their eyes. And man, those are the greatest people to be around, and they never age. And I think that's what kids can give, or that's what they've given me.
I think you nailed it when you said refreshing. Right? I think that's the perfect word kind of to use about that. Now, can you tell me a little bit about your kindness kits?
Yes. So what we try to do, and this is kind of the age that we're in, I like to think we did it earlier, but the age that we're in is everything's packaged now so that you don't have to go out and run individual supplies, try to create, projects for your kids to do. We have it in a kit. And we have about 20 unique hands-on activities that the parents hopefully can work with their kids, grandparents can work with their kids, teachers can work with the kids, to do these individual projects to kind of give them a taste of what we do. But if we're not there to do it, the parents or whoever is there with the kids can do it with them. And so it's important to, spend time. I know it's important that kids will remember. They may not remember the project. They may not remember everything about it, but what they will remember is that feeling that you were there with them, that someone was there taking the time with them. And that's cool. And so we just try to make it easy with these 20 projects in a kit. And you can just do day by day, week by week, however you decide to do it. But that's what we have. It's our little kits.
For these kits, what about the age range for the kids for this?
So for younger kids, from first grade to probably fifth grade, younger kids, we have some that older kids can participate in them. And I don't see there's anything wrong with them doing it as well, because it's, pretty much for every age. What I do like to see is that if they do the kits and they enjoy it, then they can pass it down to the next generation, because that's part of leadership as well, passing it to the next generation.
Now, talking about a little bit about the older kids, you guys have a junior board. Now, what exactly does that entail, and how can someone become a part of the junior board?
So the junior board is, once again, I'm amazed at the level that these kids are doing. It's like a real board. I mean, they go in. So when we have our meetings and we have to present, what have we been doing? Where have you been? I have to present to the board. They do the same thing. They present, what are we doing? Where are we going? What have we done? What is our budget? What have we created? They do exactly the same thing that the board does. And they work with us as well as, coming up with ideas on projects and events and different things that we can do. So once again, it's an empowerment. You have to apply. You have to work your way up to become a board member. There's the junior board, and then there's the advisory board and board members in training. And so you'll work your way up. But it's, once again, it is that those who have learned are now passing it down to the next generation, And that's the key, right? Is what good is it to be the most successful person in the world, and then all the knowledge you have and everything you have in the world just dies with you? You got to pass it down to the next generation.
Right. Gosh, I'm really taken back by these kids.
You would be amazed. I say it with a giddiness, because just seeing some of the kids, it's exciting to see the possibilities in the future. That they're strong, that they are leaders, that they're willing to do the hard work, and that they have a good heart. But it was also, and I don't want to say it's just for kids, right now we're starting to spotlight compassionate leadership spotlight, and speaking to some of the adults, and just hearing some of the adults, because I think the world needs to see that we have this image, or some people have images. I had an image subconsciously that if you're rich and powerful, you were a bad person, you were a jerk. You had to have this attitude. You had to be nasty. You saw, things on TV. That's what rich and successful is. And when you start meeting some of the people, there are so many great people out there who have been successful, who have been powerful, who have done some really good things, but their voice has never been seen or heard. And they've never been seen. And so we try to talk to adults as well as the kids, because there are a lot of great adults who are examples for the young people out there.
Well, that's great. So it kind of ends up being kind of a mentorship.
Yes. Yep. Indeed.
Full circle. I love it. So can you tell me a little bit about, so everybody's going to want to know, how can we help your organization? You have a golf tournament, your 10th annual Joy of Giving golf tournament. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So, as a nonprofit, you have to raise funds, right? And one of our big fundraisers is our golf tournament. It's a day of fun, as most golf tournaments are. I like to think ours is the best, as we should. But you'll have a day of fun. Actually, this year we're going to have if you're a I think it's WWE fan, wrestler John Layfield is going to be one of our speakers at the beginning. I think we'll have some news personalities, different people that will be speakers. Then we'll have the golfers go out, they'll golf a game. We have auction items, some really cool auction items. And then, we'll have a little dinner, and we'll have opportunity for some of the kids to speak. And, it's a great event. So we're still looking for sponsors. I'll throw that out there. We definitely, the more sponsors, the better. And if you want to send an email to info@touchingheart.com. We can talk to you about it. Also, you can go to our website, which is www.touchingheart.com. And there's some information about the golfing, the day that we're golfing. It's on September 27th. And so it would be awesome to get more sponsors. Then, and at the worst, it's like, we're not just asking for money. We're saying, you're going to have a great day. You're going to be exciting. Hopefully you'll have a good golfing game. You have opportunity to bid on some great auction items, and then you get to see these powerful kids in action speaking. So it's a great time, and your money will go to use. This is
a day for the golfer. So you come in and you tee off, and then afterwards do the raffle and speakers. Tell me a little bit about the day.
Yeah. So you come in, I like to joke around. I'm trying to think of some cool things that we can actually do for the golf tournament, but you'll come in, everyone practice. We'll have an intro speaking. We try to make sure, the beginning part's not too long so the golfers can get down to business. They're going to play. There's a lot of competition out there. Everyone plays to win. Unfortunately, one year I actually came in last place with my group. They gave me an award for last place, so we're Xing that out. I don't ever want that feeling again. And so, but we'll have the event. We have a DJ playing music all along the golfing path, and every hole. We'll have sponsors. We'll have food. We'll have drinks. All that. Then you'll come back, and like I said, you'll get a chance to hear some of the kids speak. You'll get a chance to hear a little bit more about Touching Heart, and then there's opportunities to give again. But it's not necessarily just give. It's opportunities to get some great prizes. If your team won, you actually will get prizes. But it's also an opportunity to bid on some auction items, and it'll be hopefully beneficial for all of us.
Now, is the tournament still open for golfers? Can we sign up?
No doubt. Yeah, please sign up. The tournament's still open for golfers. We're doing sponsorships now. It will continue, up until, pretty close to the end of September. The only thing is, if you're closer to the end of September, your name may not be on the program. But, if you're there and it's for a good reason, then
you still have the organization.
Yeah, it's
and that's all that matters.
Yep.
And where's the tournament located?
It's going to be at it's Clifton, Virginia. Is at the Westfields Golf Club.
Okay,
and
lovely.
So it should be a fun time, and we'll be excited to have everyone there. I promise you.
For volunteers?
Volunteers. So same thing. You can go to info@touchingheart.com and say that you want to volunteer. Love to have any volunteers, because at the end, it's more than just a golf tournament. It's also an opportunity to give back. It's an opportunity to teach. It's an opportunity to not be the 80% that talk about it or point the finger and say, well, these people aren't doing this and that. You're becoming part of the 20% that are actually doing something. So I think it would be a great opportunity for anyone who would love to volunteer.
Now, for all the listeners that are thinking, unfortunately, I can't make the tournament, but I still want to donate. How can they?
Yeah, you still can go to, if you go to the website, www.touchingheart.com, you will be able to find some information about donating, and you can just donate from there. So I probably rushed through that and I need to slow down, but www.touchingheart.com. So you can go there and you can donate. It'll say there's a section that says donate. You can donate there directly. If you run into me, let me know and I'll set you up. My football days are long gone, but this is about legacy. This is about trying to leave or impart in the next generation the world the way you want it to be. Because, I have two boys of my own, and you look at the world and you say, man, what are we leaving them? What type of people are going to be in this world? And, more so, we got enough with, environment and all these wars and all this other stuff, but what type of people are going to be in this world? And that's what we need. We need good people in the world.
Oh, Ken, I think this is the best way to kind of wrap this up, although I could talk to you for hours. But before I let you go, I want the listeners to be able to follow you guys. So can you give us our social media handles?
Yeah. So I hate to say I'm a little older, so I'm not as tech savvy with social media, so I'm going to read these. But you can go to the website is obviously touchingheart.com. Facebook would be www.facebook.com/touchingheart.va. So you'll see that. Instagram, touching_heart_. Twitter, the @ touching_heart. And then LinkedIn is Touching Heart. So I bundled it. Let me try to get it better real quick. Touching_heart_ Instagram, Twitter @touching_heart, LinkedIn Touching Heart, Facebook Touching Heart VA, and then our website touchingheart.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ken. And this will all be in the show notes as well for all the listeners that want to go back and write it down. So go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me and talk about our charity. It's really important, to try to get the word out when you're trying to do some good things. But it's people like you who are willing to sit down and listen to people like me babble sometimes, but hopefully get their word out and help people. I mean, tons of people helped me as a young man growing up. And this is kind of my way of saying thank you to those people, to my parents, for helping me to become whoever I am. So yeah, thank you for doing what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I feel like everybody, there's enough negativity, and we decided to start this because I think everybody needs a little positivity. And I think that certain charities really, they connect with people. And what a better way than to be able to listen to the podcast, find a charity that really touches you, and then get involved. So I think it's a great way. So
You're
again,
awesome.
Thank you so much, Ken. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us and tuning in to another episode of A Community of Caring. Until next time. If you would like to learn more about our organization, please follow us on Facebook @Truman Charities or Instagram @Jamie_Truman Charities, or check out our website, trumancharities.com. I hope you enjoyed listening and hearing stories of selflessness and caring. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.